Hey, welcome back to DeFi, Degens, Drip, and Farm for Poverty, where our mission is to empower the impoverished and help you find financial freedom through crypto assets. If you like that mission, you resonate with that vision, smash that subscribe button so you don't miss another video. And in this one, I'm actually following up on an AMA that was done about 8 hours ago with Bartertown Conglomerate. I'll drop their link here in the chat. It was a long video, and I know you guys may not have time for all that, so I'm going to give you the alpha on it. It was about 3 hours and 15 minutes. He went over some major developments that they're working on. He also touched on the BetFury token and use case that they'll be using with Drip for their betting platform. That's been kind of on the back burner. He said he wants to basically do one major project at a time so that it gets its own kind of hype cycle. And right now the focus is on the animal farm and primarily the piggy bank. Then he'll cycle back through to the other partnerships he's been working on. And speaking of partnerships, that's where he dropped this alpha. One, he's talking about doing some stuff with Chainlink, and they're on board. They want to get started now. And then this next one, I'm just going to play the clip. He's already hinted to it in other channels, in other AMAs, but he never said the name, but he kept always referring to him as the biggest DeFi platform on the Binance Smart Chain. And if anybody's been in DeFi for longer than 10 minutes, you know exactly who that is. But he finally actually says it. But I'm going to play the clip instead so you can hear it for yourself. So give me 1 second.
You know, it's very exciting. I expected Drip to be successful, but there's no way I could have pictured that, Pancakeswap and Chainlink and these major dev teams would be reaching out to us.
Boom.
Yeah.
Boom, there you have it. He's straight from the horse's mouth, straight from the man himself, the GOAT of DeFi. Forex Shark said it by name. It is Pancakeswap. So this is huge news, super bullish for the Drip community as a whole. And not to mention what he's talking about regarding the ability to take out a loan against your Drip or borrow against your Drip. If you're familiar with Abracadabra, they already do a really good job of this on the other platforms. Primarily it works best on ETH, but they're on ETH and Binance and all that other stuff like that. But what you can do is you can put your capital in and then you can actually borrow against it. And if you are from the US, taking a loan out or borrowing against your collateral is how the rich get richer, because you do not pay taxes on your borrowed amount. I'm not connected right here, but anyway, Abracadabra Money is one of the primary places that does that. And so what's amazing about that is you'll be able to keep your Drip collateral, and however this phases out with Pancakeswap, you'll be able to borrow against it. So obviously that does put you at more risk whenever you borrow against your assets, and assets that are volatile. You can be liquidated much quicker, especially if you're doing leverage against your borrow, where you're borrowing it and then putting it back into the system. I don't know if leveraging will be in there, but let's just say you have 1,000 Drip tokens and they're in the contract, but you can only get that 1% per day. Well, now maybe you'll be able to actually take out, borrow against it. So like 200 Drip tokens worth. So right now it's about $100. So maybe you can take out, let's just say you have 10,000 locked in the Faucet and you want to take out 2,000 per month at one time. You might be able to do that through a borrowing system with Pancakeswap. You would obviously pay some fees, but that means your Drip balance stays and you're constantly gaining that return on investment and that appreciation of the Drip token. So you don't lose anything because you're not selling your asset in the beginning. So partnering with Pancakeswap is huge. He's also mentioned that he wants to actually go for the #1 space in DeFi on the Binance Smart Chain and take over. But we'll see what that looks like, because Pancakeswap has huge market cap of 2 billion or 3 billion, somewhere in there. And right now Drip is a small fish to fry in that ecosystem. But the fact that they're partnering with them, Chainlink partnering, these are huge bullish moves in the space. And he did mention also that he wants to change the Drip website. So right now, Drip community, he wants it to look more like a standard financial entity, basically. Like he mentioned Charles Schwab. Their site's not actually that great, to be honest, but he said Charles Schwab and TD Ameritrade. So he wants the platform, so he's going to be giving he said a major UI overhaul to Drip. So instead of it being kind of, how would you call this, very minimal and not really appealing to a larger audience. This is more appeals to the DeFi, degens, people that understand crypto and stuff like that. But you're not going to get a large amount of new investors, new capital he wants to onboard with someone coming to a site like this. And you're like, yeah, go ahead and click this button and put in $10,000. People are like, wait, what? But if your site looked more professional to what the traditional financial sector looks like, then obviously it makes it more appealing, more trustworthy, and much more likely for someone to be willing to take that investment. So I think we'll be seeing some price action in the Drip token after this, after the kind of hype dies down from the piggy bank. So right now, Pigs actually pumped quite a bit during his AMA. This is Drip, whereas Pigs, I had Pigs up. Let me pull it back up. Pigs during the AMA pumped like about $100 almost. It was crazy. And that's something you can always guarantee in his AMAs. Whenever he gets on and makes an announcement, you can assure that the price will go up. Let me change the, I haven't used Poo Coin that often. Let's change this to minutes. So we have basically during the AMA, it was earlier today, so this was 7:30, and then all the way for that 3 hours, it just continued to skyrocket. So that's 10. So 7:30 to 10. It was a 3 hour and 15-minute AMA, and that's a serious pump. 293 to 306. You know, so about $25 or so. So if you got pigs or you were buying, you could have sold off, made a nice little chunk of change. But long story short, insanely bullish news. So again, not financial advice, but it looks like he's already mentioned multiple times that Drip is the backbone for everything that he's building. He also talked in this chat about he's not adding more coins to the ecosystem. He will instead be finding use cases for the existing coins. So the games he's working on developing, though the coins like Drip, like pigs, like dogs, will already be implemented into the game. So he's not gonna make he doesn't move on to a new project unless he can put the existing project on the backbone of the new one. So that means whatever tokens you have that are from the Forex ecosystem, you can be sure that they will continue to find value, like B-Reap, like Rake and Drip and dogs and pigs. So it's not financial advice, but with this partnership of Pancakeswap, and once the hype from the piggy bank dies down, I could see some pump in the Drip token. And right now it's kind of looking like it's finding a floor at the $100 range. I have seen in the chats people talking about they don't want to sell below $100. So it could also be kind of a psychological floor from the community that it's just hovering around this price. Let's see, last 4 hours. It's been some sell-offs, of course, and that's again to be expected. But that's with the macro environment, of course, with Russia and Ukraine, and then Canada, and then I think the Fed has an announcement coming up this week. So there's just so much uncertainty in this entire macroeconomic space. It's all risk off. So if you were to walk into a casino and someone handed you $100,000 and they just gave it to you right when you walked in, you'd be like, woohoo, let's go for it, right? You'd be much more risky, taking more chances. But if right before you walked into the casino, somebody robbed you of $100,000, you'd be less risk off. Probably wouldn't even play at all, right? And that's kind of what's happening in the macro environment right now. Everybody's risk off. They don't want to get into assets that are risky. So they're taking their risk out of the system or not getting into it at all if they're not in it at the moment. So even in drip, people may have to maybe selling off. This is also prime time right now for taxes. So and drip is primarily if you look at the demographics, primarily a US based ecosystem. Like the people that are in it are in the US. So this could all be related as well. Either way, it's not going anywhere. So do your own research, take a look at getting in while the opportunities are there. Remember, you buy in the red to sell in the green. So it may look horrible right now on this chart, but when you zoom out from its all-time high, it's just a healthy correction. So this was a huge run up, a massive pump. So you have to imagine that people that got in here, they're in huge profits, because remember, you're compounding all this time. So it wouldn't surprise me to actually come back and see it in the 90 range, because this looks like some support somewhere in the 80s to 90s. If you look at this range, is where people could be looking that got in around this point. They will be looking to solidify their investment, but still, they're still in healthy profit. Like all this was compounded from this entire time. So anyway, I made this longer than I wanted to. So huge news with Pancakeswap and the drip token, and he did talk a lot about the piggy bank. So that will be announced next Tuesday, or it goes live next Tuesday, 11 a.m. I believe US time. So that will be an insane opportunity as well to start generating some additional yield and staking opportunities. So looking forward to seeing that. I got some capital sitting on the sidelines waiting to get in on that one. So until next time, guys, lift daily and achieve your impossible. See ya.